One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a section that says Moses wrote down these words, but it never says, and all the other words in this book. The belief originated in pre-rabbinic and rabbinic times, the first couple of centuries BCE, for lots of reasons, not the least of which was you can't establish the authority of a book any better than saying God wrote it.
The question of who wrote the Bible has often prompted a defensive response from church and synagogue. From a traditional viewpoint, the holy texts are sacrosanct words, imparted or inspired by the divine. Understandably, even now to many, the authorship of the Bible remains beyond doubt.
We believe that the Torah was written by the hand of Moses, but dictated to him by God himself in a totally divine manner. No different than you would dictate a letter to a secretary.
God could have used angels, God could have written it himself, God could have spoken it into written form. He chose, being the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent one, to use human beings since his message is to man. Therefore, whether Moses writing the Pentateuch, or Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John writing the Gospels, or any of the 40 men and women who were instrumental, each of them, under divine inspiration, wrote verbatim, totally verbatim, as God instructed, but through their own personality.
It is believed that the communal campfire was the stage around which the first biblical stories were transmitted. Histories and genealogies were passed down by word of mouth, told and retold many times. Epic sagas of conflict, deliverance, and redemption were reenacted, with accounts of ancestral contact with the divine conveyed verbally from generation to generation. The Bible is divided into two distinct sections. The first is the so-called Old Testament, or the Hebrew Bible. In it are the 5 books of Moses, from Genesis through Deuteronomy, also known as the Law. Next are the history books, or the prophets, including Joshua, Judges, Samuel, and Kings. Finally, there are the writings, which include the book of Psalms, Proverbs, Lamentations, and Chronicles. 39 works in all. The New Testament, the texts that deal with the life and teachings of Jesus Christ, comprise 27 books, divided into the 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Then the Acts of the Apostles and the letters. And finally, the book of Revelation. But these are not the only religious texts. They are merely those that were canonized or accepted as worthy of inclusion in the Bible by various ecclesiastical authorities throughout the centuries. A volume of books known as the Apocrypha is sometimes included as an addendum to the Bible. These books, encompassing prophecies, poems, and histories, were at one time included in the Hebrew Bible, but were dropped from the official canon just before the Christian era. Any quest for original authorship should begin with the foundation of the entire structure. So the focus has invariably been on the earliest texts, on the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of Moses. As scholars began to plumb the rich depth of the biblical narrative, astonishing patterns began to emerge. Clearly, the texts seem to contain a multitude of different writing styles. Could they be the work of many minds, many authors, many contributors? If so, who were they? And is it possible that the Word of God is being revealed in all of their versions? A gradual revelation still going on.